Hey guys, I'm Amber, Tracy's younger sister, and I am making a guest appearance on her video this week because we have some beef that we are going to work out, and we are choosing to work it out publicly. So, when she arrived to Atlanta, to my house, she said, I'm all about this new eating plan. I'm gonna eat whole foods all the time. It's gonna be great. I'm gonna be super healthy. This great, anti-cancer diet and, all the health foods and all the things. And I was like, really? I'm like, I don't know if you're, gonna really be into that. And she's like, oh, I'm totally into it. Whatever you make, I'm gonna eat. I'm all in. Well, folks, she ain't been all in. So, what happened? Here's my microphone.
Okay. First of all, I said, because she cooks healthy, and those of you who know us and have followed us on Facebook, every time I come to Atlanta, she's always doing some crazy stuff. Remember the, what was that millet salad? What was that called?
That was one faux pas.
What was it, though?
In like a whole life. Like, it was a millet dish.
A millet. It was a millet salad or whatever. That was awful. But I said I would eat healthy. I do want to eat healthy because we know that who can say why I got breast cancer? I did genetic testing and I don't have a genetic component. So it's not genetic. It just happened. Okay. But we know that stress is cancer causing and contributes to illness. And we know that diet is. And so I really do want to change my diet. And because she cooks healthy, I really desired to eat whatever she was cooking. And I did say, no, I'm going to eat whatever you cook. It's just that everything she cooks, everything she cooks tastes like a big old bowl of health. I mean, and so when I said I'm going to eat healthy, I didn't really mean that. I didn't assume that meant that
vegetables.
Nothing was going to taste good.
It tastes great. I mean, you guys know how picky kids are. Even my kids eat the food. It's like vegetables, fruits, lots of dark leafy greens, and
her kids eat it because she raised them from the womb. They haven't tasted anything else. They don't know. They've never tasted anything that tasted good. They don't know anything else. She's trained them like Pavlov's dog to eat whatever she puts in front of them, and they think it's great, but they don't know, y'all. They haven't been exposed to anything else. They don't know what some good
hold up
food.
though, but it was like, oh, whatever you fix, I'm gonna eat because I want to be healthy. And now when I prepare her dinner and I set it in front of her, she's like, oh, this looks good.
Okay, y'all.
Oh, it has mushrooms in it.
Lots of mushrooms.
Oh.
Lots of mushrooms.
She's like, I'm a pescatarian. And I'm like, oh, great. I was like that for almost 10 years. I'm perfectly well equipped to prepare pescatarian dishes. And she's like, but I don't really want vegetables every day. And I'm like, what vegetarian doesn't eat vegetables, y'all? That's your main thing.
I do eat vegetables, but they don't taste good. I don't want just vegetables and then a bunch of mushrooms. Mushrooms taste like flesh. I'm a vegetarian. I don't eat meat anymore, and mushrooms taste like big old pieces of flesh to me.
Mushrooms help you get that like firm bite to your food, and they're very filling, and they're great, and they go in so many different things. And she doesn't like them, you guys. So, I mean, you know how you have a kid and you got to cook separately for the kid? So it's like, oh, we're making omelets today. Here's Missy's omelet. Oh, we're making this today.
She calls me Missy, not Tracy.
Well, I call her Missy, but my kids call her Missy.
Yes, Missy, right.
It's so, yeah,
y'all,
it's a problem.
Every time she's saying that, it's not a problem. It's a problem for me. It's not a problem for her, because every time I come to the table, there's mushrooms in my food. Because you got to bulk them up, because it gives you that nice bulky feeling of feeling full. Not if I don't eat it. So everything.
And otherwise, she's like, I'm hungry. And I'm like, we just ate. Well, I'm still hungry. Yeah, that's because you didn't eat it. You didn't eat what was served. And I'm going to tell you like I tell the kids, go to bed hungry. That's why the kids eat. You put some stuff down in front of them, the kids eat it. Why? Because they know it doesn't feel good to be hungry during the night. So she's always hungry and really, really hungry. And we have so much food here. We have food for days. We have refrigerator and freezer, normal like one in the kitchen upstairs. We have deep freezer in the basement, plus a whole nother refrigerator and a basement in the refrigerator and a freezer in the kitchen basement.
Yes,
so
that's
food
true.
is not in shortage here. We have so much food.
So y'all, there's lots of Brussels sprouts. My last video told you they almost killed me with the Brussels sprouts because they smelled like sauerkraut, and I was sick a whole nother day after chemo. It added a whole nother day of sickness to me and they got lots of Brussels sprouts. They've got lots of Brussels sprouts. They've got lots of carrots, and they've got lots of hummus. I eat hummus too. I do eat hummus, but that's not all I eat. And when I tell you they got mushrooms, they've got mushrooms coming out. They got
We have
vegetables.
guacamole. We have and guacamole and chips. We have quesadillas and fruit and smoothies.
Quesadillas with, when I bite into it, it's got cheese and mushrooms in it.
We have
She puts mushrooms in everything. Only thing that mushrooms she doesn't put them in, they don't put them in pancakes.
We
They
have
don't put them in the
oatmeal.
waffles. They don't put them in the oatmeal.
We have bread and, all the basic things. But yeah, we eat a lot of salads. And then she's like, I mean, do we just really have to eat kale? I mean, it's 2023. Kale up. Kale up.
And kale tastes like grass. It tastes
Not
like
when I
country
make it.
grass. Well, right. I can't taste the country grass because I taste the mushrooms in there. And then one day there was some slimy stuff in the kale salad. I was like, what the hell is this? It was quinoa, y'all. So kale, quinoa, and mushrooms. I mean,
There were no mushrooms in that. Okay, here's the thing. I also don't like to be hungry, okay? I've never liked to be hungry, so we agree on that point. So I want to eat healthfully. I don't want to be hungry, and so I'm all about bulking things up. So if I'm hungry and I'm about to eat a bunch of kale, I will dump a bunch of quinoa in it and some peppers and olive oil and vinegar and season it up and parsley or whatever, as much stuff as I can fit in there as possible so that I can eat a lot of it. Kind of like, I don't follow diets, but the idea of like volumetrics, getting enough volume of food in order to be satiated, but without taking in too many calories or fat and sugar and salt and all these things. So we don't diet here. We eat regular food. It's not low fat diet, but it's all whole. It's whole foods. And she doesn't like whole foods. So
I don't
it's
like Whole Foods. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, 7 days
But
a
that's what she
week.
said she was gonna do. She's like, I'm so glad I'm coming to live with you because I'm gonna be eating healthy every day, all day. And I was like, yes, you will. And now she's like, ah. And sometimes she tries to sneak out. And I'm just like, she puts this little hat on, guys, when she's going somewhere. I'm like, where are you going?
I'm going to get something to eat. I don't sneak
I'm
out. I'm
gonna
a
go
grown
get-
woman. I don't sneak out. I go get some food.
She's like, I'm going out to get something to eat. I'm like, but I just cooked. And it's like, I don't want that. And every time she comes back inside, she has something from Starbucks or something from somewhere where she's like, it's just, the Johnston family food is not satisfying a sister, literally. So we are in this place of contemplation. And I'm going to break her in. And particularly on the days when she doesn't feel well and she can't leave. Sorry. That's all we have here. I don't know what else to say.
The problem is the chemo is causing me all kinds of food issues because the things that I can't go out and eat the bad food that I would normally get because 100% of the time, if I try to go eat some fried food or something that's super not healthy, I get sick. It makes me sick. So I can't fully go the way that I want to go. But I also, if I don't eat, y'all, like it's not a cancer diet. If I don't eat, I'm not going to be healthy either. And something between just bad food, which I don't want to eat bad food 24/7, 365. And it's making me sick too. But y'all, the kale, the Brussels sprouts, the mushrooms. One day I was downstairs and it smelled like steak was cooking up here. It smelled like steak. It smelled really good. But I was a little concerned because I'm a vegetarian. I'm a pescatarian and I don't eat red meat. And so, side note, it started out for health, but I watched those documentaries and it just, now meat grosses me out. So it's really not even a health thing anymore, just as I can't bring myself to eat it. But that's a separate story. But she was up here cooking steak and it was smelling so good. I was contemplating like, well, there's no law against me having a piece of meat and I might need to bite into a piece of this steak tonight because it's not mushrooms and, you know, kale. So I come upstairs. I'm like, what is for dinner? Like this steak. Y'all, it was portobello mushrooms.
I didn't know where you were going with this.
Those big portobello mushrooms.
Those are burgers in our house.
That's what they do, burgers in their house. It was this big, it smelled good, but this big portobello mushroom with some
provolone cheese melted on it, some roasted red peppers, a little aioli. It was perfection, guys. Absolute perfection.
So I said, okay, I'm a grown woman. I'm going to try this. I bit into it. It was like, I felt like I was eating an animal. It was all fleshy and thick, and I was
So good.
It was so bad. It was not good. It was so awful. It was so awful. And if her husband and her kids hadn't been here, I'd have cursed her out probably about it. But, you know, in front of the kids, no. And
She's
then,
like, this is good. The
And
kids
then when
are
nobody-
like, oh, good, she likes it.
when they
So-
weren't looking, I threw it away. I slid it off into the garbage can. I was like, I'm not eating this
All
flesh.
right. Well,
So
reach into the comments. Let us know what you think we should do. We have a dilemma.
I want to
and-
eat healthy, but I don't want to eat kale, quinoa, and mushrooms. And if I don't sneak out. Like I said, I go out and get something because I don't sneak out. But if I try to go get something that's too rich, it makes me sick. So ultimately, I don't know, in some states it's called DCFS. Down here it's called DFACS. I know I'm not a child, but I'm being held hostage because I'm sick, and she's supposed to be taking care of me. So somebody call DFACS, report her to DFACS, or say something in the comments about how we resolve this dilemma, because I need to eat something. Bye.